For this project, you're going to assist a pizza shop. This program will simulate a customer buying items from a pizza shop and getting a bill for it. The interface should look exactly like shown here. So you're going to have a bunch of labels. Notice the different properties in the label. This is bold. These labels are smaller. These are actually labels too, just simply labels. And there's a label here at the bottom with your class code and name. There are also text boxes, a list box for your result, and a button. So all of these things must be laid out in the interface before you begin to code the program. When you code the program, you're going to have 4 input values: the number of slices of pizza, how many fries you're purchasing, the number of soft drinks, and a coupon code. The coupon code will be either 1, 2, or 3, depending on the discount. Your output will be the cost of the pizza, cost of the fries, drinks, a subtotal, the discount taken from the subtotal, and then the final amount due. To write this program, you are going to use subroutines. So your main program is going to declare all variables, input the number of slices of pizza, number of fries, drinks, and coupon code. Notice that I do not say declare constants here. You will use constants, but you will use constants as global values. And I'll talk about that in a second. So all of your constants must be declared. I do not want you using hard-coded values for your calculations. Instead, you'll declare symbolic constants globally. Once you've declared all of your variables and your constants globally and input the values, you will then call on a series of subroutines to do the calculations for the pizza cost, the cost of the fries, the cost of the drink. Once you have the cost for all 3 of those things, you will then, in the main program, calculate the subtotal. So you will not call a subroutine to calculate the subtotal. You will do it right there in the main. Once you get the subtotal, you will send the subtotal and the coupon code and a value to hold your discount to a subroutine called getDiscount. That subroutine will look at the coupon code and determine what the discount should be. The discount should be 10% if the code is 1, etc. Once this subroutine returns, you'll have the discount, the subtotal. You will then use that to calculate the amount due. Again, this calculation is done within the main subroutine. You're not calling on another subroutine. You will then output the results to a list box using format currency. Now there are special deals for the pizza and the fries. The way this works is for the first 8 slices, you will simply pay the normal price of $1.50 per slice. But if the person buys 9 slices, they'll pay $1.50 for the first 8 slices and then 75 cents for each slice over. So for that 1 slice, they'll pay 75 cents. For 2 slices, they'll pay 75 times the 2 slices over. So this is very similar to what we did with the copier company and the balloon code that we wrote. All right, that's for the pizza slices. For the fries, it involves a little different calculation. You're going to give a discount on every 3rd fry, which means every 3rd fry will be free. So if the person buys 3 fries, they'll get 1 fry free. If a person buys 2 fries, they pay for those 2 fries. If a person buys 4 fries, they'll still only get 1 fry free. If a person buys 6 fries, then they'll get 2 free. So for every 3rd fry they buy, they'll get 1 free. They buy 9 fries, they get the 3rd of the 9 free. So they'll pay for 6 and get 3 of them free. This will be done in the get fry cost subroutine. You'll get the number of fries and then return the cost of the fries. Now the fries cost $1.25 a piece. Again, this $1.25 will be a global constant. So let's talk about global constants. When we first looked at a subroutine, we learned that a subroutine, in order for it to share values, those values must be passed as arguments to a parameter list. So in this case, we were passing hourly rate to HR rate in the argument to parameter passing. And we also learned that net pay passed to this net pay is passed by reference, which means it's a two-way pass. But we also mentioned that down here in this subroutine, we can have a declaration section within the subroutine. These declarations are what we call local declarations. So we have a local declaration of a constant and a local declaration of two variables. These local declarations means that tax rate can only be seen within the subroutine and not seen up here in the main subroutine or the calling subroutine. If I wanted tax rate to be seen up here, I would either have to declare it up here or I can make it a global constant. So what does that mean? A global constant is a constant that's declared above all of the subroutines. So they're not inside of any subroutine. If you look here, here is my main subroutine that's going to calculate the area and circumference of a circle. Notice I get the radius of the circle and then I call on two subroutines, sending the radius and the area for the first one. The radius passed to help calculate the area, and the area passed back by reference. I also do the same for the circumference. I pass in the radius and the circumference, calculate the circumference, and return it. But in both of these subroutines, I'm using a constant called pi that is not in the parameter list. The constant pi is declared above all of the subroutines, which means every subroutine has access to it or knows about it without having it passed to it. So by doing this, I declare it one time and I can use it in get area and use it in get circumference. And if I really wanted to, I could use it in the main subroutine also. This is far better than declaring it once in get area and then locally, and then declaring it again locally in get circumference and having two different pi's that I would have to change if I wanted to modify this by maybe adding a few more digits to pi. The other thing it prevents me from doing or allows me to not have to do is I don't have to pass pi through the parameter list down to the other subroutines because the subroutines have access to it through the global declaration. I do want to say this. We are always taught as programmers to make constants global because it's okay to share a constant. Constants cannot be changed, but it is a bad practice to make variables global. By making variables global, some subroutines can change its values without other subroutines really knowing about it. So if you can imagine if I had a counter and I used the counter here to count something and also used the counter here to count something, the counters would lose track of what they were counting. In this class, we are never going to declare any global variables. We can, however, declare global constants. So when you write your program, all of these dollar values here, the price of the pizza, the price of the fries, all of these must be global constants in your program. After you are done writing your program, be sure to document it by putting header comments at the beginning of the program, inline comments inside of the main subroutine, and also comments above each subroutine that you write. So if we look at this code for the circle, you see I have a main banner here with all the comments in it. I have comments here about subroutine calls. And then for each subroutine, I have a little banner above it briefly describing what that subroutine should do. This documentation must also be included in your program. Once you are done writing the entire program, you will simply zip it up and submit it to Canvas. If you have any questions on Monday, I will open the floor to questions at the beginning of class.